did record to computer now.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the content writing class for this year's summer camp. So we have our tutor here ready. So I want everyone to pick up their notepads and their pen and get ready to learn. All right, Mr. Su, please carry on.
Thank you very much for that warm introduction. And I'm glad you are here with us today. And you've always been with us, so thank you very much. And today we'll be talking about descriptive writing. And this is like the conclusion of all what we've been talking about since the onset of this summer camp in content writing. So last week we gave a little exercise and we talked a lot about vocabulary and all. So this is like the collective of all what we've been talking about since the first week we started this class. So let's dive right into what we'll be discussing about today, descriptive writing. And I want to sincerely apologize that our coach, Sarah, could not join us today because of technical issues. And then I'll be your coach for today. So my players, wear your boots and your socks because it will be fun. So descriptive writing, and these are tips for your writing with confidence. Right. Imagine you are drawing a picture of your favorite animal and you want to make sure the person looking at the picture can see all the details like the color, the fur, the shape of the ears, the teeth, the sparkle in their eyes, and what that's descriptive writing. Yeah. So you are trying to paint a picture for someone. Descriptive writing is, you can call it creative writing as well, is painting a picture for your reader to see. Get. So when you are painting this picture, you put it, you tell it, you don't write it. That's how we want it to be. It's like telling it and not writing it. So when your reader picks up the book and wow. So when you're trying to explain cuteness, you use a cat, for example. You see how cats used to make their eye their eye very big and sumptuous. So you have mercy on them and maybe give them food or something, or how the dog will be coiling around your leg. So when you're trying to tell, when you're trying to explain to your reader what how a dog is, say they will tell you a dog is a man best friend. Yeah, they are very loyal, blah blah blah. You throw your bone here for security. So there are a lot of it. So now there are techniques for this descriptive writing, and let's intrigue you a little. Sensory details. Now, sensory details are details that appeals to our five senses: your sight, the sound, your touch, the taste, and the smell. So when we describe something, we use our senses to help us. When you use our sensory details in your writing, you help your readers experience what you are describing. Let's say you're describing an ice cream. Who that thought? Because you're going to describe it for me. Okay. So now when you are giving these your sensory details, which includes your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your nose, your thumb. Yeah. So it gives your reader the picture you're trying to paint. So these are the techniques in which you can use to make a descriptive or a creative writing. Yeah. So when you're trying to talk about how the hot soup burnt your tongue, you explain the kind of spoon you used, because if you're using a steel spoon, of course the conduction will be very intense. How the boiling point of the food, you're explaining, the food was when you're trying to explain, maybe you mistakenly left the spoon inside and you are trying to give your reader a massive description. The spoon was red hot. So you know what red hot looks like. The reader is driving his mind or her mind back to see what red hot actually looks like. So when your reader sees this, I'm like, oh, so that thing was very intense. So this, if the narrator is saying this, it means I'm expecting more damage to the person or the animal that was in contact with this spoon, get. So when you say, or when you're trying to describe the dog or the cat, or you're trying to describe your school bus, when you're trying to describe your class teacher, okay, my class teacher like wearing a dress. She's always uptight. My class teacher likes making her hair curly. She likes splitting her hair straight. All those stuff. And then when you're trying to describe your class teacher or your mom, let's go to your mom. So your mom likes high shoes, and then that's your site doing that for you. So you know that that's high shoes she likes wearing, and then you know that your mom, or your senses tells you how your mom sounds like. Her voice is as sweet as an angel, or her voice is as sweet as a bird. You get, and then the scent of perfume she wears, of course. So when you're trying to explain, like, okay, now when you're trying to explain the sense of perfume your mom wears or your dad wears, you start explaining fruits. Okay, let's say it's vanilla, let's say it's chocolate. Yeah, your reader now drives his or her mind back to what you're trying to explain. Oh, my mom smelled very nice. She smelled like a chocolate. I read, I'll be like, wow. So this is edible. Do you understand? That's if you could test the picture. Okay, so that is it. So describe the ice cream. I wish Amarachi was there. She was very participating in the previous class we had. So I would have asked her to describe this ice cream. So when you're looking at this ice cream, what do you see? This is the human ice cream anyways. So you'd see the cone-like structure. You see the puddings that is on top, the ice cream that is on top. It has yellow color, has blue color, has red color. The body is brown. So look at it. And then when you're describing it, you now describe the test. How was it? Was it cold? Was it freezing? Did it hurt your teeth? Keep mentioning, and so on and so forth. So when all this is being in place, you know that, okay, I've gotten this outside. I'm describing, because this is where you're trying to describe. Imagine you're asked to describe your school compound or describe your way, how you navigate your way to school. So you now explain how narrow your road is and how you met traffic, describe the traffic. Okay, we know that Lagos traffic is always very congested. So I said, today's traffic was like Lagos traffic. So your readers now has driven their mind back to how clustery Lagos traffic is, and you might now explain that even the traffic lights were misbehaving, so it caused a lot of problem. And how you drove into the school, you saw where your signboard is, you can start elucidating how many traffic lights you passed by the road. You can count the VIO agents you saw, how many school buses were rushing, how many students were trekking. Those are descriptive writing. So once you put this, you know that what you're trying to paint for your reader or your teacher is adding up. It makes more sense. It makes it more intriguing. Remember, we talked about writing, so you have to keep your readers engaged. So you have to keep the readers engaged, like, oh, this person is counting how many NEPA pool he or she has passed. It's counting how many traffic lights he or she has passed. So it means this person is very detailed. Yeah, so you have to make your writing very detailed. Now, another writing technique is called point of view. I gave us a rough explanation on what point of view is. Having your own dad's point of view, your own mom's point of view, and your point of view. That's first person's point of view, second person's point of view, and third person's point of view. So now if you look at this slide, point of view, this the person standing on this other end is seeing 6. And the person that's standing on this other end is seeing 9. I would ask you, what would you see from your screen? What would you see from your screen? So point of view actually explains the narrative of whatever writing you are crafting. Yeah. So it tells you, okay, as I'm writing, I'm writing from first person point of view. What you are seeing is your 6. So now second person's point of view, what you are seeing is your 9. So third person point of view, which is you and I, we are seeing the both 6 and we are seeing the both 9. So I can tell you, if the first person is the one that is seeing 6 is Maurice, and the person that is seeing 9 is Blessed. So when I'm writing, I'll say that Blessed saw 9 and Morris saw 6. So I've collated their both point of views inside, and definitely we rock it. So first person point of view, there's always there's how you put it into writing. First person point of view, your character is telling the story. So you use I, you use we, you use me, you use my, and you use our. You get? So that's when you're personalizing it, because you are the one telling the story. You are the one inside the story. You are writing as if you were there. So there are things you may not see. You are only reporting what the other person saw. So I will tell you, as a first person point of view, like this slide we talked about. Okay, Morris saw 6. Blessed saw 9. Definitely we understand. So now I'm telling you, we both saw 6 and we both saw 9. In my own point of view, that's why I'm using the mine. I saw 6 when I stood at this other end. When I went to Bless point of view, I saw 9. So our point of view actually differs. You get? So when I'm using a second person point of view now, where the person is writing to you, is writing to the reader. So I'm narrating, I'm addressing all my stuff to the reader. So I'm telling my reader, you have to, that is when you're trying to give a technical layout. Okay, how to do this, how to do that, how to charge your phone. I'll tell you. 1, you tear the carton. 2, you read the manual. 3, you unplug your charger, plug it on your adapter, your all those stuff comes in. So that's how I'm addressing my reader. So that is the second person point of view, because I'm reporting on one person's side. So I'm reporting on Blessed side here. You are saying this. Your stances are, do you get? So now, if I stand on the other person's side, Morris's side, I'll also talk about you are seeing 6. The reason why you are seeing 6 is because you are standing this side. You get? So now, third person's point of view is where I am telling the narrative. It is told by the narrator. I am not in the story. I am the son, the eye overall, the camera, the ego. I see over everything. So I am the one dictating what each character is doing, because this is how you see it when you are watching a movie, and then it builds this suspense in you that someone is standing on the other end of the road. Let's say you're watching Superman, and then Lex Luthor, the villain, is coming from this other end. Oh, okay. Something just came through my mind, and I thought I'd share this with you. It's point of view, actually. So there's how script writers do it, or movie writers do it. So they'll do it in their own point of view, in such a way that you would be marveled. You are built up with your suspense. You are built up with your suspense. The main character will not die in the movie. You will see the main character actually standing in an open space, and then the villain is going towards that curtain. Let's say it's just a little corner, which obviously is just a flower that is there. And then you, the main character, you are behind the flower, and then you are just peeping. Maybe let's say it's an office setting where there is no covering, and then there's just a drawer. So the main character wants to go and check out the documents or plot out a plan, and then he gets out the plan and is reading on the plan, and then suddenly he hears a crack on the door. Then he tries to hide under the table. There is nothing in there. There's nothing hiding this character. Do you understand? So it cracks me up, sorry. So there's nothing hiding this character. The character is just standing is underneath the table, and then the villain now comes in. I had oh, my drawer is open. Possibly there's someone here. And then he checks, opens the curtain, no one is there. And then to build your suspense, the villain now comes down, knowing that the table is the most possible space for the main character to hide underneath. He will now come down and tries to bend. And then we hear something. Now there are different perspectives in here. He will now hear a crack somewhere outside, crack, and then he will now rush and go outside to check who made that sound. And then he will come back, the scriptwriter will let it flow. He will now come back to check under the table that was not checked before. At that point, the main character has run into the window curtain and hide. So now, you do that in such a way that you are engaged in the story. You are engaged and you'll be shouting, no, don't go under, don't go under. This is your perspective. This is a third person perspective. You're trying to narrate it. You're the one seeing what is going on. The other person cannot see what the villain is doing, where the villain is checking. You're the one that's checking. You'll be the one screaming behind the screen. No, stand up, hide there. No, you should not. Don't open, God, please don't allow the person to open. That is third person's perspective. I think I've been able to explain this third person perspective to you. So there are words that helps us so much so well that we can explain and put into writings what a description is. So when I was in school, we were taught 700 serving men. Their names are what, where, when, who, which, why, and how. I would have sung a song for you guys, but I have a very terrible voice. So permit me not to sing. Please permit me not to sing. So just know that these 7 words are your guiding principle for writing descriptively. So what happened when the villain came in? You're now explaining, it's just to talk about a thing. You're now explaining that what happened that made that villain come in. Maybe the villain suspected that the main character is in search of something, or maybe there was an alarm blare, they triggered the security system, you get. So now, where did this happen? Where did the villain check? Where did the main character run into? They're talking about the environments, the place that it was used, the place that they're sitting, or the place they are writing about. So it is in the office, the villain's office. So now, the main character, let me now use Maurice and Bless in this story. So we're not be talking about the villain and the main character. So here, Maurice is the villain and Bless is the main character. Permits me, it's just an analogy anyways. So now Maurice comes into his office, and then Blessed has been looking for a way to understand what is going on in the office. So Blessed has been hearing rumors that people are conflicting and people are preventing people are preventing promotion. So she wants to check where that document is. Like, she's determined, she needs to know where that document is. Like, we hear that Maurice used to hide people's files, and also she wants to see where that document is. So she now, Maurice the villain now comes in, and then Blessed, he has heard that Blessed is not in a point of duty. So where is Blessed? Where is Blessed? So he has rushed to the office to go and check, and then I painted the picture already. So when did this happen? What time? Was it in the morning? Was it God, I beg. Yeah, you are the hero, evidently. He's a villain, I stand. Okay. Oh God, please. Yeah. So now, when did this happen? It happened in the office. Who used to talk about a person? Who talks about is the villain, talks about the hero, talks about the bystanders, the extra cast. Yeah, when you're writing into your story. So which is used to talk about a choice. Yeah. So at which point did Bless discover that Maurice used to prevent people's promotion? At which point did Bless discover that she could sum up courage to search for the files? At which point do you get? So now, why is used to talk about a reason? A reason. Why did this happen? Why did Bless stand up from her point of duty to go and search for a file? Because she wants to liberate other promotions for other staff. She's concerned about other staff. She's very humane. So why did she do this? She went there because she has been hearing that people are not promoted. She went there because she's not happy about people's current status. Like, now we talk about the how. How is used to ask about a manner. Like, how did this happen? Anyways, the story still continues. So Bless finally found out that Maurice is truly a villain. He has seen tons of people document that was supposed to come to her for final vetting. So she now discovers like 50 documents that Maurice is supposed to approve, but has not approved. She's like, wow. So she now takes all the files. After Maurice came in and checked in and couldn't find her, went back, then she was able to extract the files and process it. So now, people were now telling the story of how heroic Blessed is and everything. So they now ask this question: how did this happen? How did this happen? So Bless had a master plan. She had the plan of the office. She knew they were in, they were out. She knew where to hide. She did, in case Maurice comes in, she knew how to do the whole stuff. So this is when your WH words helps you so well that your story, your writing is very descriptive for the reader to be engaged. So we go to the next slide. This is where the little work comes in. Let's describe a sunny day at the beach. Can you think of words to describe what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you smell, and what you taste? So let's look at the picture. We have seen a sandcastle. We've seen dad with the ball. Yeah. So that's what we are seeing. We've seen mom reading. We've seen the basket of fruits. So now when you're trying to explain this picture, you're actually painting it for your reader. You explain that the child is running, the child is wet, and you explain that they all have plates and fruits in their baskets, and then the taste of it. You now explain how orange will taste, explain how a cherry pie will taste, and you explain how cherries will taste. You explain how you explain the warmth of the sun. How was it? Was it cozy? Was it soothing? You start explaining all this stuff. Once you start putting all this explanation into writing, it intrigues your reader and keeps them engaged. So just know that you have to keep your readers engaged. Fine. In conclusion, because our time is fast spent, in conclusion, choose words that helps your reader picture what you're describing. Yeah. Instead of telling your reader what's happening, show them through descriptive language, using metaphor and similes to compare things to other things can help create clear image in your mind. So using metaphor and similes to compare things to other things can help create a clear image in your mind. Like when I started explaining that you are trying to explain how you got burnt by a spoon. So you are explaining that you used a steel spoon, not a rubber spoon, and the steel spoon was red hot. So you have driven the person's mind back, or you're explaining how you drank cold water. It was freezing, it was ice freezing. So it cracked your teeth, or the ice cream you ate from the beach. No, keep all this and then tell them, compare things with each other. Tell them it's not this, it's this. If I talk about this, take your mind off that and think about this. Paint a picture in their mind, and that will be it for descriptive writing. So we'll we'll give you our work, our assignment. We'll drop it on the platform so you can write about your journey so far in Childish Summer Camp, describing everything, how you had network issues and everything. We'll give you a proper description of what you wanted to write for us. And then I will send a video on how to create a blog site. So you use our blog, you use a blog site, you send a mail to us, we'll add you to our page, you create the blog site for us and put in all your writings, all our assignments, you put them in there for us. So thank you very much for staying with us till the end of the class. If you have any questions, this is the right time to ask it. You can unmute your mic and say a lot of questions you have. Then if I can't respond to your question now, we'll send it to your mail. So over to our director and our camp director. You can unmute your mic and say hi. You have 5 minutes remaining. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. All right, everyone, we have come to the end of today's class. Thank you so much for attending or for rewatching this video. I am so happy that you decided to pick this particular course and that you have been following through from the beginning till today. So I want to encourage you to go back and rewatch all the previous videos so that you, in case you forgot anything, go through your notes, revise, and then put in your all in ensuring that you complete this assessment that is given to you. Well done, and I can already see you on the final day smiling when you are being told that you have graduated and your certificates will be sent into your emails. Thank you so much for attending. I personally love you and I can't wait for you to do great and amazing things. Thank you for attending to this class. Bye.
Bye.